Hello everyone, hello from beautiful Sacred Valley where I'm hanging out and feeling there is something around the theme of polarities that wants to be communicated with you. I was reminded of this topic last night as I was making my way back to the place where I stay, and it was dark, it was late in the evening, and so the only thing I could see was really the stars above me and the silhouettes of the mountains around. Feeling like there is something about that darkness that was revealing somehow the essence of the things around me. So be that the mountains or the silhouettes of the trees. So, that fine detail that we get when it's light outside was really lost, but then something else was gained, because as that detail faded away, I felt like it was easier for me to tune into what is the essence of this being, which is this mountain. I refer to it as a being here, and it was just that really capacity to feel it rather than see it that was strengthened by the darkness. And I started just exploring in my mind this interplay between light and dark, and I was reminded of a question that came up for me just a year ago that was very, very interesting, which was like, what is the nature of nature? And back then, when I was reflecting on this question, it felt like the nature of nature had to do with this dance or interplay between polarities, between the light and the dark, the large and the small, between the feminine and the masculine, between the joy and the fear, so there's just this way in which, everything that is expressing exists on a certain spectrum in a way, on the other side of which there's something else that is also observable in our universe as it is. And you might ask, why is that important and why should we care? Well, basically, I believe this is one of the core patterns that reveals itself not just in our surroundings, but also within our psyche. If you would imagine a tree, and that tree wants to grow a branch, before growing that branch, on that bark that so far has been cohesive and consistent, there's going to be tension. And that tension actually is creating really the setting for that new branch to emerge. It is indicating where that growth wants to happen. And in a similar way, within our psyche, I believe that it is where we feel tension that our biggest growth can occur. And actually, what is interesting is that if you really look closer into what tension is, at least for me, oftentimes it boils down to two different voices or energies that are battling for my attention. So that can be, for example, fear and courage, or it can be tiredness and energy, or it can be, anything. So if you really tune into any tension you're experiencing in your life, it's easy to see which are the polarities that are creating it. And the reason they're creating it is because there's something along them that needs to be integrated for that growth to occur. So oftentimes they would mix with each other so that in that battle, neither of them will get heard and understood. And therefore, one of the most powerful practices actually I've encountered in this last year has been a practice that allows for that really deep listening and acknowledgement to either of those polarities that are inherent within the tension we're experiencing in that specific moment of our lives, to really be seen and appreciated and heard. And once that happens, it's really interesting, because these things that might have seemed very kind of opposite one another start finding this way towards one another in a very beautiful way. So, for example, you can think of the yin and the yang symbol, where you have the darkness and the light, and there's the small dot of dark and light in the opposite. side of the circle. And it is similar to, to what I was reflecting on last night, because, I was just thinking, if it would be full darkness or full light, I would be seeing neither of, neither the essence nor the beauty and the detail, and actually the moments in which I can see those is when there is a little bit of light in the darkness, so I can see the silhouette and appreciate the essence of the mountain. And there is a little bit of dark in the light, so that there is enough shadow so that I can see something. And really, it works that way for any kind of battling energy that you have within. But really, for that integration to happen, what is needed, at least in my experience, is really that giving yourself that space to connect to either end of the spectrum and really feel their energy in your body and see what they have to say, so that they can find their peace with one another. So what I would like to leave with you is really this lens through which you can explore the world outside, but also the world within yourself. And really kind of asking yourself, whenever you feel there's something that's bugging you, what is causing this tension? What are the polarities that are inherent within that? And if you want to go deeper into listening and acknowledging them and allowing them to integrate, I'm going to share the practice that I have been using in the last year. That's based on a book by Antero Ali. That's called The Eight-Circuit Brain, and it's a very interesting book. But really, this practice has been extremely transformational for me, and will allow you to tune deeper into anything that is currently sort of battling for your attention within you. So I hope this has been interesting, and I wish you a beautiful day.